All right, welcome in everybody to the deep dive. We've got a really powerful one for you today.
Yeah, we're going to be taking a close look at Psalm 102.
From the New Living Translation Bible over on YouVersion.
Yeah, YouVersion's a great resource, by the way. Super easy to use.
And this psalm, we were talking before the show, it's described as like a prayer for when you're just absolutely overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed by trouble. I mean, just completely crushed by life.
And it's interesting because it's not a theological treatise or anything. It's not, an academic analysis of suffering.
Right, it's raw. It's like from the gut.
A cry out to God. So our mission today is to really try to get into the emotional and spiritual core of this psalm, like what's going on in the heart of the person praying.
Yeah, and what can we learn from it about how to handle those times when life just feels completely overwhelming?
Right, about faith and doubt and hope and despair, all those things mixed together.
And remember, we're talking about a prayer here, a deeply personal prayer.
Embedded in a specific religious tradition.
Exactly. It's been read and prayed and sung for centuries. But its power, I think, lies in its honesty.
Yeah, it's not sugarcoating anything.
No. And in its connection to something, much bigger than just the individual experience.
Okay, so let's jump in. Right off the bat, it starts with this urgent plea. Lord, hear my prayer. Listen to my plea.
That repetition, it's like, please, God, hear me. You have to listen. It's not subtle.
No, it's desperate. Like the person praying feels like they're hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, like if they're not heard, it's all over. Like their survival depends on it.
And I think that speaks to something really fundamental about what we need when we're hurting, right?
Absolutely. Like just to be acknowledged,
Yeah.
to know that someone's listening.
Yeah. Okay, so then it goes on to describe the suffering. And the imagery is so vivid and intense.
Like my days disappear like smoke and my bones burn like red-hot coals. It's visceral.
Yeah, I mean, how else can you describe feeling like you're just fading away, burning up from the inside?
That image of smoke, it's not just about time passing. It's about life losing its substance.
Yep.
Like it's leaving no trace.
And then the burning bones, it's this
Yeah.
deep internal pain that just consumes you.
Like a fire raging inside.
Exactly, and then it just keeps going.
Right, the psalm doesn't let up.
My heart is sick, withered like grass. So now even the core of their being is affected.
Leading to a loss of appetite. I forget to eat.
And then, oh man, this line. Because of my groaning, I am reduced to skin and bones.
Wow, I mean, you can just picture it. The physical and emotional collapse, it's all connected.
It really shows how deeply our emotional state can impact our physical well-being.
Totally. Like we all know how grief can make you lose your appetite or stress can mess with your sleep.
Right, and here it's like the pain is so intense that it's wasting them away.
Yeah, and then there's this overwhelming sense of loneliness, like I am like an owl in the desert, like a little owl in a far-off wilderness.
Lonely as a solitary bird on the roof. These images are so bleak, they speak to being completely isolated.
Yeah, I mean, owls, they're nocturnal, often solitary, and then you put them in the desert, the wilderness. It's like emphasizing that sense of being cut off from everything.
Exposed and vulnerable. Alone. And it gets even worse because it's not just internal suffering. There's this external pressure too.
Like my enemies taunt me day after day. They mock and curse me.
So not only are they dealing with this incredible internal turmoil, but they're also being attacked from the outside.
Right. And that kind of social alienation can be incredibly destructive, especially when you're already down.
It's like a double whammy.
It is. It's like you're already hurting, and then people are piling on, making you feel even worse about yourself.
And then there's this really interesting and kind of disturbing detail. I eat ashes for food. My tears run down into my drink because of your anger and wrath, for you have picked me up and thrown me out.
Whoa. Yeah. So now God is brought into the picture. And not in a comforting way.
No, it's like the psalmist feels rejected by God, like God is the source of their suffering.
That image of eating ashes and drinking tears, it's powerful. Like their sorrow is so intense that it affects even the most basic things, like eating and drinking.
And it's all because of God's anger. At least that's how the psalmist perceives it.
Which, I mean, that's a heavy thing to carry.
It is. And then capturing that feeling of life slipping away, the psalmist says, my life passes as swiftly as the evening shadows. I am withering away like grass.
It's that sense of time speeding up while you're shrinking, like life is just draining out of you.
Right. Okay, but then, and this is where it gets really interesting, there's a shift, a change in tone.
A glimmer of hope.
Yeah. The psalmist declares, but you, O Lord, will sit on your throne forever. Your fame will endure to every generation. It's like they're grabbing hold of something solid.
Exactly. In the midst of all this chaos and despair, They're remembering who God is, the eternal, unchanging one.
Right. And it's that contrast, right? Their own fleeting existence compared to God's permanence.
It's deliberate. It's a way of reorienting themselves.
Shifting their perspective.
Yeah, instead of focusing on their own pain, they're looking up.
And that recognition of God's eternal nature seems to spark this anticipation of intervention. You will arise and have mercy on Jerusalem, and now is the time to pity her. Now is the time you promised to help. So it's not just about personal relief anymore. It's about something bigger.
Yeah, it's about God's people. Jerusalem, the city of God. The psalmist believes that God's compassion extends to the whole community.
And they have the sense that God's going to act, that the time is right.
Like God's promise is about to be fulfilled.
And you can feel the love for Jerusalem in these lines. For your people love every stone in her walls and cherish even the dust in her streets.
It's more than just a place. It represents their history, their faith, their identity.
Yeah. And then the psalmist envisions this amazing ripple effect of restoration. Then the nations will tremble before the Lord. The kings of the earth will tremble before his glory. For the Lord will rebuild Jerusalem. He will appear in his glory. He will listen to the prayers of the destitute. He will not reject their pleas.
It's this vision of God's power and compassion being recognized by everyone.
It's like a reversal of the earlier feeling of isolation and rejection.
Totally. It's a global recognition of God's goodness.
And that leads to the stated purpose of this psalm. Let this be recorded for future generations so that a people not yet born will praise the Lord.
Wow. Yeah, it's about leaving a legacy of faith and hope.
Like, this is what I went through. This is how I found hope. May it encourage you to.
And the message for those future generations is, tell them, the Lord looked down from his heavenly sanctuary. He looked down to earth from heaven to hear the groans of the prisoners, to release those condemned to die.
God sees. God hears, even in the darkest places.
And God acts. He sets people free.
Powerful stuff. And the psalm culminates in this vision of universal worship. And so the Lord's fame will be celebrated in Zion, his praises in Jerusalem, when multitudes gather together and kingdoms come to worship the Lord.
That's like the ultimate victory, from despair to global praise.
Incredible.
But then
There's another shift, back to the personal struggle. Right. He broke my strength in midlife, cutting short my days. The reality of the present moment comes crashing back in.
yeah, it's like that glimpse of hope was a brief respite, but the pain is still there.
And the psalmist is still wrestling with it.
Right. Their strength is gone.
Yeah.
They feel like their life is being cut short.
And they cry out again. But I cried to him, "Oh my God, who lives forever, don't take my life while I'm so young."
It's this raw plea for more time.
And it highlights that tension, right, between the eternal God and our own limited human lifespan.
Yeah. But then there's another beautiful turn. The psalmist affirms God's role as creator. Long ago you laid the foundation of the earth and made the heavens with your hands.
It's this reminder of God's power and sovereignty over everything.
Exactly, and it leads to this amazing contrast between the impermanence of creation and God's eternity.
They will perish, but you remain forever. They will wear out like old clothing. You will change them like a garment and discard them, but you are always the same. You will live forever.
This is such a core idea in religious thought, that the created world is temporary, but God is unchanging.
Right. And that gives us a sense of security, doesn't it? Like, no matter what happens in our lives, God is constant.
Absolutely. And the psalm ends on a note of hope, a promise for future generations. The children of your people will live in security. Their children's children will thrive in your presence.
It's this legacy of blessing and safety rooted in God's faithfulness.
A beautiful way to end.
It really is. So we've gone on this incredible journey through Psalm 1 or 2.
Yeah, we've seen the depths of suffering, the feeling of abandonment, the questioning, the doubt,
But ultimately this return to faith and hope.
and this incredible affirmation of God's eternal nature and his love for his people.
It's a deeply human story.
It is. And it's a reminder that even in the darkest moments, we can find solace in something greater than ourselves.
Right. And that acknowledging our vulnerability, being honest about our pain, can actually be the first step toward healing and hope.
Absolutely. And, I think a good question to ponder is, how does recognizing something eternal, something bigger than our own individual struggles, how does that change the way we approach our own difficulties?
That's a great thought to leave our listeners with.
Yeah.
Thanks for diving in with us today.
Thanks for having me.